Hi everyone, welcome to episode 72 of the Yarnivore podcast. You may wonder why I am so far back. I'm going to start this episode off with the parade of the giant monstrosity. That's right, the Grateful Dead quilt is done. So now I'm going to attempt to show you a California king-size quilt with my limited space. So this may get a little crazy. Basically, it's a bagillion Grateful Dead shirts, varying in tie-dyed osity all the way across. I got the sashing fabric from Spoonflower. That is also where I got the backing fabric, as you can see. So this thing, I don't even know if I can hold it up. There are pictures on my Instagram, which is of course Sadie. And then on the back, because of how big it is, there's also a row of shirts along the back. I actually did end up running out of fabric and had to do bot binding for the bottom half of the Blanket of Doom, or the monstrosity, however you want to call it. This thing is as big as my double carport. That's how I ended up pinning everything out. I took everything, I pulled the cars out and I laid down a tarp, and I ended up, that's how I pinned out the front and the back in the sandwich, in the quilt sandwich. And subsequently, now I have to figure out how to fold this all back up again. I do want to go over it. I have not trimmed all of my ends, as you may be able to see right here. Got some ends. I've not trimmed my ends. I want to go over it with a lint brush, because this thing has been worked on since I had 3 cats, and a dog. So I guarantee you there's a lot of fur on here I need to get off. My brother has asked me to ship it because he's a crazy man, and I need to find a box. It's probably going to be a U-Haul box, I'm not going to lie to you. So it's a California King. It's all my own pattern. It took 2 years of off and on working, because you cannot heft this thing around with a sore chest, that's for sure. And there's certain weather you just don't want to work on something this big and ungodly warm. So here he is all folded up. It's a big honkin' monstrosity. So he calls it the heirloom. Throw it over on that bed, pull up my pants. Now I got schmutz everywhere. Let me bring it in. I'm gonna bring it in to refocus ourselves, shall we? That was like a big finish for me though, and I figured knitting, sewing, whatever, y'all wanted to see that. Again, I put it on my bed and I had to take one shot of it, and that was half of it on my bed, and another shot that was another half on my bed, because I've got a queen. And this is a California King with extra. But the dead quilt is done. Woo! Can I get a what? Yeah, I don't know. I had a chiropractor appointment early today, and then I accidentally set my alarm for an hour earlier than I needed it to be. Don't ask me why. And subsequently did not get as much sleep as I would have liked to. If my husband calls, I may need to pause us, but you know, that's how it goes. At the ridiculous rates I pay for phone cards. The other finished object is my husband's second pair of socks. So he has two pairs of socks to come home to. This is Opal in the something or other colorway. Translates to thistle. Thanks, Tracy. And is a Shaftpat, which is the shepherd one, the one with sheepies on it. And I have quite a bit left over, so might be able to make a pair of like Rose City rollers for me. I don't know. He has an 11 and a half foot. So these are massive. And I ended up doing 2 different heels because that's what you do when you're not following a pattern and you're at coffee. So will he care? No. Do I care? Not really. So he has 2 pairs of socks he's coming home to. He's got these ones and the last unicorn ones, which are up here. Because apparently I'm really nice knitting him socks. I need to knit some socks for my mom with her tiny feet. That's what I need to do. Which brings us into what is in my giant thing back here. Let's just work our way down. It's not necessarily going to be in order of any kind because I've been all over the place. Seriously. Although today I did something that reduced a lot of stress in my life, which is awesome because, and August is over with. August was a horrible month for me. So here's the Good Vibes by Nadia Christian-Lechen. It is a gorgeous pattern. I am doing it out of Knitter's Nightmare in the Gothic base and the Baddie base. In the Dangers Untold and Hardships Unnumbered colorways on a US 6 4mm needle, and I've gotten a little bit further. This is Dangers Untold, I believe, or the Hardships Unnumbered. I have to look that up. They're both the same thing, but one is on a naturally gray base and one is on a white base, so this is going to be the contrasting color. And I've got them in my Second Avenue swag bag with the doggy eating the yarn. This got a little love. It's been sidetracked. I don't remember working on it very much because, let me tell you, apparently I got bit by the sweater bug. And the sweater bug bit hard. Like, it wasn't just a light tap where you cast something on. It was like a let's cast on every sweater you've ever wanted in your life right now. To the point that I ordered more knitting needles. To the point that I may have just ordered more because the 4 I have going on is just not enough. Not enough. There's actually 5, but I haven't worked on the 5th one. I got my stack of books here that I got to do a haul for. And if you care, like, some people really don't care about the booktube stuff. Some people don't care about the floss tube stuff. Some people don't care about the knitting stuff. It irritates some people that they're all on the channel, but if you look, I have them separated into their own playlists. In my Pam bag, I have this month's Desert Vista Dye Works colorway. For September, I picked Animal Dreams. Actually, I think I let my mom pick, because that's what I do when I can't decide. Looks like that in the ball, using a US 1 2.25mm needle. And of course, I love it. Look at how bright it is. Oh my goodness. And I actually have the book, and it's on my to-read pile, so I'm going to pull the book and read it while I'm doing these socks. Because I'm crazy like that. That's the only other thing that is not a sweater. Only other non-sweater thing. And I'm going to run out of places to put these because I'm a mess. So I'm just going to set it down there. I'm going to have to put everything back in there in a sec. Okay. So one you have seen before, possibly in 2015, because that's the last time I opened the file for it on my iPad. In my Fat Squirrel Fibers Super Summer Knit Together 2013 bag. I believe that was the first year I went. It's also the year I got married. It's just a lot of good memes there. I have not touched this, and I don't have a picture of it, but everybody's seen it because everybody and their friend has done it, and that is the Pomme de Pin. The Pomme de Pin cardigan, which I had about that much done. I'm almost at the armpits now, and I'm feeling pretty cocky about that. This is out of a Cranberry from Blue Moon. I bought it for the Kapel Dubba knit along ages ago, and actually Pam was also knitting that. I don't know if she finished it. She might have finished it. I gave up after the welts because I did not like the welts. So, and then I started this, and I let it languish and languish and languish. And because I was in this whole I need to knit all the sweaters thing, like coming over me, like a madness or a sickness, I came and looked in my, right here, where I have all the sweater quantities is up here. But then I saw this bag and I was like, what's in that bag? That's a nice bag. That bag should be in rotation. And then I was like, oh, this. And then I thought, if I marked the spot in the pattern so that I can go back and just start where I was, I will continue. If I can't, then I will rip it out and pick something new. Well, I'll be darned if I didn't mark it down. So, of course, I could just start right back where I was and have like half a sweater. So, it's got this gorgeous lace work, and yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I think this will make a very good fall sweater because it's got a little breathability, and out here in the Pacific Northwest you need it. So I think I have one more repeat before I hit the armpit. I know I did the Isolde circular tubular cast on to get the extra stretchy stretch out of the ribbing, and yeah, I have, these are the Blue Moon like ridiculously massive skeins of yarn. So this is how much I have the first skein, and I have a whole nother skein left to go. And if you're wondering why I sound like poo, it's because the entire state of Washington is pretty much on fire, except for the peninsula, and we are covered in ash, and it is so smoky out it looks like it's sunset instead of during the day, and you can't see very far, and it's just the sinuses / like mucoccal area just not happy. I have no idea what size knitting needles these are. I would assume it's either a 3.5 or a 4mm because that seems to be everything I'm knitting right now. And actually, I just got another pair of 3.5s in because I want to start the, I think it's called the Larch, out of another sweater worth of Blue Moon, because again, all the sweaters right now. So, loving that one. Have to pull everything over. In my Tracy bag, which gets a lot of compliments when I take it out and about. I am still working on the Winter Wheat. It has seen a little love, not a whole bunch of love, but a little love, because this one is probably, I think it's the most involved pattern I've got going on. I'm not 100%, maybe not, whatever. It's a fingering weight yarn. I think this is a 3.75, a 3.5, or a 4, because as I said, everything's on those sizes of needles. Hiccups coming on, I think. And so the last time you saw it, I had put this in and started on this texture. Ta-da! And yeah, there's a sleeve, so you know how far down the body I am. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. These rows just seem like so much longer than everything else, though, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because this thing is hanging around, and I don't really know how to hold it. That, and I will be completely honest, this has reached the status where when it's in the high 80s, it's in the 90s, we hit 100 once. No, this is not going in my lap. To tell you the truth, that's when I was cross-stitching or reading or sewing, because I just couldn't. And you've seen this so many times, but I will go over it once more. We have Toxic, Undertow, Run Through the Jungle, and Old Leaves, all in the Baddie sock base by Knitter's Nightmare. The purple is True Love, and it is a Wollmeise. Not even a Rohanspatz and Wollmeise. Let's all laugh, because I know the accent is wrong. So that one got a little bit of work, not a lot of work. But these other two are brand new cast-ons, so I feel as though I'm vindicated by them. So the first one I cast on, and I cast it on right before I watched Tracy and knew she was doing this one too, and then she was like, hey, I'm doing that one too. And I was just, oh, wow. Sometimes we twin out just a little, just a little. And this is the Hoodie Shawl Cardigan by Suzanne Sommer, handmade by Sosu, is her Rav. Let's see if I can do this without showing it. Oh, there we go. Pretty good. So it looks like this. It's a hooded shawl. There's stripies. The gray stripe in the peach is not showing up as well on the camera as it could, but it's very cute. So I'm currently on the section for the back, the shoulders, and the front. And I printed out the pattern because I felt like I wanted something to, while I was watching my iPad. And so, here's how far I've gotten. This is on a US 4 3.5 millimeter needle. It's kind of tangled. And here's where I've gotten to. This one is probably the rival for the most involved because of how many make ones there are to create everything. But it's so pretty. Is this the right side? Where's this the right side? This is the right side. Okay. So this is the right side, and you can see my stripes are showing up there, which is lovely. So there are 3 colors, right? There's color A, B, and C. So my color A is, where are all of my little taggers? Taggerers. Color A is this gorgeous thing, which was a gift. It's Mrs. Crosby Loves to Play, hat box, 75/1510, superwash merino silk cashmere in great-tailed grackle. And it's soft and it's wonderful, and it wanted to be knit up into this, and I couldn't disagree with it because I had the yardage. Color B is this lovely thing, and it is Dream and Color Smooshy in the Hot Safari Days, which was the free yarn for if you finished Camp Loopy in, not last year, but the year before, 2 years ago, I think. I don't know. The only year I played and the only year I finished. And then the other color I'm using, just because I think it's going to be wacky and wonderful, is this gorgeous baby. And it is Neon Pencil in the Soliloquy base by Leading Man Fiber Arts. I think they'll really pop. I think it'll give it everything it needs. If I get to the Soliloquy and I go way too different, like if it bugs me or something, then I will change it. I will change it up and find something else. But right now, I think it's all going to work okay. Into my gorgeous bag, which I got from. Oh, I'm gonna flub this up. She shows. It's Renee. It's Renee from Minnesota. So I should know this. She's so unusual. She's so whimsical. Either way. I know I've linked before, and we've had a giveaway with her bags before, and I just love that one for sweaters. It's awesome. And yeah, this is the last one. Whew. And then we've got haul. Like, seriously, man. There's just so much going on in my life in terms of I need to cast on all the things. Is there a good picture of this one? Picture. Okay, let's see if I can get it to show. There we go. Without giving you too much, there it is. You know what it is. Everybody's seen this one before. It's the Marco Polo. The Marco Polo is put out by Ella Torrente, and I like Ella Torrente. I've done another one by her. I have a couple by her that I enjoy, and this one is a top-down 2-stripe Awesome Sawsomes. That's right, Awesome Sawsomes. Let me throw some stuff back in my thing here. I gotta organize my space, or it's gonna fall over. Okay. And in the biggest fat Squirrel Fibers bag, I have which has apparently sprouted a string. Where are you sprouting a string from? From deep within your cavernous depths. There we go. I started this, and I am loving this, and it is on US 6 4mm needles. It also requires US 4 3.5mm needles, and yeah, I'm just throwing them in the bags now. I should just buy in bulk. That's what I should do. And these are Knitter's Pride. Yeah, Knitter's Pride Dreams, which I enjoy as long as they stop. Like, they do rub off a bit, and it's kind of annoying, but it goes away eventually. I have separated for the sleeves, or I have separated the sleeves from the body. So I will try and show you if it will play nicely. But there you go. I love these colors together. Look at them. Look at them. They are amazing. Have you appreciated the amazingness of these colors? I hope you have. Really hope you have. So for this one, we have this gorgeous Burnished Sport. Is it Burnished Sport? Yes, Burnished Sport. It is Soft Like Kittens in the Muscat colorway, which I have enough of to do this, and I am in lusty mixed up pants with it. I apologize that you can't get it anymore. And then the gray is this, which is the Gray Havens on the Siren Sport base by Knitter's Nightmare. And it has been so much fun. So much. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying myself. I'm really enjoying how it's coming up. I didn't know how I'd like all this involved stuff going on, but I'm glad that it's over with when it comes to this contiguous sleeve method. Every now and then, like, there are two different kinds. One kind really bugs me, this kind does not. I didn't hate it. I hope it looks good when it's on. See, because you get, this is your sleeve cap. I'm curious as to how it's going to look on, but I think it will be fine because it's not super bunchy, it's just a little, it flares, and I think it's supposed to flare because you need that. See this one? I think you can tell a little more on this one that it kind of bubbles a little. Yeah, right there. So, and I think that's going to block out. It better block out. Let me just say. So those were all the sweaters I cast on, and they're, like I said, I want to cast on the larch as well. And where's the other one? There's a couple, like the Breathing Space. I've been waffling on colors for that. Like, most of it is just indecision on my part, so once I get the groove, I will go there. But let me tell you, sweaters, I don't get it, but I'm gonna run with it. I have not knit on the Adrift, which is the lace weight cardigan I'm doing, because that just seems like a crazy person. I'm sure I will again, like I want to again, that's not the problem. It's more like, I prefer to knit the other things. I prefer to knit other things right now. And I'm gonna go with whatever spirit moves me. I'm just gonna leave my basket there because it might fall over. So, haul. I have haul here. That's what I have written down because sometimes it's called haul, so sometimes it's called stash enhancement, sometimes it's called a multitude of things, but let's just get through it, shall we? Alrighty. Oh, and I have to separate out. There's going to be some sewing stuff too, but that goes later in the show. I'm just going to put that up there. And this, where am I going to put it? I will put it over here. I know you're all saying to yourself, why are you not more organized? Because it was either don't film or be less organized. And less organized seemed to have worked. Okay, so I got a gift from a wonderful friend of mine, and I didn't ask if I could say her name, so I'm not going to. And she sent me wonderful things, including coffee and chocolate to ease my broken mind, because August really sucked. Really sucked. Really sucked. With a really on the suck. And one of those things is Heavenly Wools, New Zealand 20 micron merino wool, 100 grams approximately, in the Imperium colorway. Look at how gorgeous that is. Just look at how gorgeous it is. I need to charge my battery so I can spin some more, because I like spinning, but I don't necessarily have a plug-in. The other thing she sent me, which if you are a geek or a Lord of the Rings fanatic, which I am, will completely make you go, what? She sent me From New Zealand Farm to Hollywood. That's right, you see, Elven Cloak. It's mithril. It's the official yarn of Lord of the Rings. 2 skeins. It's 100% pure New Zealand wool. It's an 8-ply DK by Stansborough, made in New Zealand. Available in pure natural grays or biodegradable overdyed hues. Stansborough Greys produce one of the rarest fibers in the world. Its unique, lustrous, silky gray sheep breeds date back to the Vikings and can only be found in the picturesque pastures of Stansborough Estate in New Zealand. And this color is Takahi. I'm not sure where the inflection would go on that, because there's no accents. It's so pretty. It's a little bit rougher than like soft. It would make really good. You know what I think it should be? I think it should be fingerless mitts, or maybe a cow. But I could the fingerless mitts. Like, there's a pattern. I forget who did it, but it's the fingerless mitts pattern that was worn in The Hobbit by one of the dwarves. Not Kiri, not Tiri. The one with the... Oh, those would be cool. Either way. I'm so excited about it. It comes with its own, like, little informational sheet. Yeah, I'm a geek. But if you're a Lord of the Rings geek, just saying, that's awesome. And the gray is beautiful. It is such a beautiful gray. I can't even. It broke my even. I can't. So there is that, which was totally awesome and wonderful. Yay. And then, because I finished 6 months of the Desert Vista Dye Works 3rd annual sock club, I got a free skein. I picked War of the Worlds, and it is gorgeous. And it came right after I picked Animal Dreams, and I was like, oh, I would have picked this. And then I guess it's a good thing. Now it can go in the pile. October is going to be Dracula. I've already decided that. I'll probably read Dracula while I do it. Just saying. And then, because I'm super spoiled, a friend of mine, the Passionate Spinner, sent me a belated birthday gift, which is kind of funny, because I sent her a really belated birthday gift, so I think that's just our thing, is that we acknowledge each other have birthdays, but we just don't do it in any fashion of time, because she has a kid, and my life is insane. And I love these. I love these cards. They're just too cute. So, I have another one that's a watermelon. It's like I'm saving up. She sent me some tea. There were some gummy bears, but they did not live very long. We have some tea. It's licorice and spearmint, which should be tasty and wonderful. I think they're caffeine free. Made in England, Dorset. Or maybe there's caffeine. I was gonna say it'd be good for before bed, but if it's got caffeine, that might not be smart. Either way, it's tea and it's awesome. And There will be crinkling. Deal with it. This gorgeous fiber, which I will probably really screw up if I try to say the name. So I will just show you. This is the card. Ithrish Ol Undmer, maybe. And it's merino nylon, 70/30, 100 grams. You know it wants to be sock yarn. You know it wants to. See, it's telling me it wants to be sock yarn. It says I have a nylon content. And it's 100 grams. And I think if I spun it right, I could definitely get a short pair of socks out of this. Not like a super tall cuff, but a medium cuff quite easily. And it's just... Or it could be a cowl, or it could be a hat, but it really likes the idea of being socks. It really likes it. Like I said, you guys, I've got some wonderful bats, I've got some great braids. Like, I need to get my battery charged, which is as simple as plugging it in. I just forget to. And this adorable cross stitch, which is the Whimsical World of Thomas Joseph, but it has sheeples. It has sheeples. This one is the You Are My Sunshine, and it's full of sheeps. Sheepish sheeps. There. There. It has everything. I will have to haul this on the FlossTube podcast to make sure that everyone gets to see it and rock in its awesomeness. Then I got 2 skeins of sock yarns that are like socky sock yarns. There's another skein of yarn, but I think that it doesn't want to be a sock yarn. This is Wool Butt Funfair with a little troll, and I love that it's called Wool Butt. Look at that little troll dude. I love him. I love him. And I love the colors. It's gonna be so much fun. And it's 75/25 Survol and polyamide. So it is awesome. It is awesome. And I just like that it's Wool Butt. And this is Regia 4-ply by Schottenmeyer. And it's an Arnie and Carlos line. These are so expensive here and hard to find. So I am excited. And I love the colors. They're so awesome. I was going to put them down there, but that won't work. And then this gorgeous Dublin dye, Quality Yarns and Fibers hand dyed in Dublin, Ireland, in Swing Sock Minis, 75/25. Look at that blue and purple. Look at the blue and purple. Look at the purple. Look at the purple. Like, this should be maybe a cowl and a hat. It'll tell me. It'll tell me. And then these, which she thought I could either do for cross stitch embroidery, or they're supposed to be for reinforcing toes, but you know I'm probably not going to do that. I'm probably going to use it. I think it would be really cool to use these in Halloween cross stitches, because this would like glow in the dark. But they are so neon and awesome. They're little Regias. Like, aren't they the cutest thing? I'm quite easily amused, and this is so awesome. But don't you think it would work really nicely for like something Halloween-y, where you just want stuff to like really stand out? Like, I think it would make it pop so much. And it's basically the same as using like 2 strands of DMC if you use one of these. So, yay! Yay! And a book, because I'm ultimately the most spoiled person in Washington. And it's Dracula's Brethren, Vintage Vampire Classics by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Fergus Holm, Louise May Alcott, and others, edited by Richard Dalby and Brian J. Frost. Because you can't go wrong with vampires. And you know, I think I have to read this while I'm knitting on my Dracula socks next month. I think that's what I will do. But it goes back to 1820. How awesome is that? 1820 to 1910. So thank you. I'm going to read this like so soon. So soon I can barely handle it. And then, because, you know, box goes over there. because if that wasn't enough haul, I had a rough day. I think most of my August has been rough. I think we've expressed that. So I went and decided I was going to go on a road trip because I wanted to get a row by row that was in Gig Harbor. And so I hopped in my car and I drove to Gig Harbor, and it just so happened that aside from the row by row, which I will show you momentarily, there was also a yarn store right around the corner. And they stock all kinds of stuff I've heard of or never heard of. Hi, Foink. Foink come to say hi. So I had to pick some up. I picked up Hula Hut yarns. This is, does she have a name for this base? It's Sock. It's 75-25, and it is the Plum Siren colorway. How awesome is that? I had to get it. I couldn't not. And she's hulahutYarns.etsy.com. And then I really like this one, and I always am looking for a decent, solid. Isn't it gorgeous? It's called Thunderstorm. It's by the Periwinkle Sheep. It's the Purpose base, which is a 90-10 superwash merino nylon, 410 yards. Well, and that's the periwinklesheep.com. I picked up, I think this is my first ever Lahala, Jala, whatever, I think it's Lahala, by Bah Yarn, and 100% superwash merino in the Dragon Tail colorway, which I just thought was amazing. I also thought if I used like the solid, I could use the speckly ones and do the meandering brioche that Pam started at. See, Pam is really my gateway drug. But I really liked the look of it, and it reminded me of my Excuse Me shawl, and I really like my Excuse Me shawl, and I thought maybe I should make another one in brioche and wonderfulness, and maybe speckles, I don't know. Or I could use these and do one of those speckly faded tops, I don't know. I'm reticent to do the one that actually calls for the fading because I don't like the way the shoulders look, but whatever. And this is Black Trillium Fibers, which is blacktrilliumfibers.com, in the Pebble Sock, which is 100% superwash merino, 380 yards, in the Primrose colorway, which just makes me a very happy clam. So yeah, I kind of went crazy, and I'm kind of okay with that because, again, topsy-turvy life. You get to do what you want. As I was discussing with Tracy, when your husband's gone and you're like crazy, then at 3 in the morning stuff starts falling into your Amazon cart, and you start doing weird things like, you know, quilting. And so I did actually end up going to, I should move these up here. I ended up going to Nancy's Quilt Shop, which is in Gig Harbor, and I purchased 3 things while I was there. And I'm sure none of them will come as a surprise to you. One is the Preppy Pod, because I love whales, and it's all whales. It's patterned by Elizabeth Hartman, and I was trying really hard not to get the Fancy Forest and not to get the Sea Creature one, because I also enjoy both of those. But I just finished a California King, and that's not happening again, and those ones look really big. The small quilt on this one is 45 and 48. The large quilt is 75 to 72, and that is about the end of my abilities. So I'm okay with that. I picked up her row by row on the go because, duh, I need every row by row ever made. This one is Ocean Waves block and paper piecing, and it comes with instructions on how to paper piece and how to do it all. And it looks like that. They had a finished sample hanging in the shop, and it was gorgeous. But I liked it so much that that's why I went. It was because I loved the lighthouses and this whole piece in here, this whole paper. I needed it. So there you have it. And then while I was there, I saw this, which is a stack of fat quarters, specifically with the row by row fabrics. So they've got the license plates with quilting, they've got the quilting map, they've got the stamp one. I just could not resist, and I figured I'm going to want to make something out of it. I don't know what, and I don't care. I just needed it. And that's what I did. I just needed it because, hey, I was out of the house. I put on pants. I wanted to reward myself for driving there. Because it's about, it took me about 50 minutes because of the traffic. So it was a bit more of a car trip than I had intended. And I got in the mail from my mother-in-law. I don't remember if I showed these. I don't think I did. My in-laws were on vacation in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And she got me last year's Row by Row, which is these adorable guys and their applique. And I really want to learn applique. And I've got some things to teach me, so looking forward to applique. That one, and this year's is Hot Air Balloons over Steamboat Springs. And this one came with everything. I'm so excited. I'm so ridiculously excited. And now that I've finished my brother's quilt. Except that I'm making 2 star blankets for my uncle, and I just started cutting those. I'm going to start sewing those hopefully today. They shouldn't take as long because they're just queen size, but because they're for spiritual purposes, I have to do them in a specific fashion and only at specific times of the month. So I started early because there's going to be times when I'm just shut down. And yeah, this has been a really long episode, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my haul, my crazy, and all of my upcoming sweaters. I will see you in about 2 weeks. Bye.